Present and absent.
Barton.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Kane.
Here.
McDermott.
Here.
Pingleton.
Here.
Open meeting compliance statement read.
I, the undersigned clerk of the Board of Education of the Alva Independent School District, number 1 of Woods County, Oklahoma, certify that prior to December 15th of the last calendar year, the date, time, and place of this regular meeting was filed in the office of the County Clerk of Woods County, Oklahoma. I also certify that at least 24 hours prior to this meeting, excluding Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, notice of the date, time, place, and agenda of this meeting was posted in prominent public view in the office of the superintendent.
Thank you. I'd like to move to item 5.2, the audit presentation, since we have a guest here who has to travel. And get back on. So Bill Bass, auditor with S&B CPA and Associates. Sir?
Okay. We'll start on page 4 of the booklet there. Everybody should have one. This is the first of 3 opinions on your financial. This one is a qualified opinion because we do it in a cash basis, which is required by the state of Oklahoma. It is an adverse opinion because we do not do generally accepted accounting principles because we do not do fixed assets. You don't do a tax return, there's no reason to do that. Other than that, for the state of Oklahoma, it is an unqualified opinion, which is what you want. Over to page 7. This is similar to a balance sheet, so I'll just kind of go over the bottom there. Those. In your general fund, you ended up with $7.4 million. That was up from 6.8 from the prior year. Special revenue, which is child nutrition in your building fund, you went from 3.8 to just a little bit more than 3.8. Debt service just comes in and goes out. That was $13,000, and then your trust and agency, which is your activity fund, those things, you end up with $735. We give you the memorandum only there for a total for the whole district. The next page, page 8, you've got basically what amounts to an income statement. You had $12 million worth of revenues in your general fund. You spent 11.8, which gives you an excess of 874. You had a stopped warrants, some bond proceeds, transfers in, transfers out. Gives you about 6.8 at the end of the year. Special revenue, we'll go over that later in the deal. That broke down more. Again, there's the debt service, the capital projects, which you don't have any, and your trust agency, and we'll go over that more in depth in another page. Page 9, which is Exhibit C. This is your budget to actual. And we didn't have a second budget, so your first budget was your final. I remember right. That's correct, okay. And so I didn't see anything here that, this is your income statement, and I didn't see anything here that would give me any concern. We did have more revenues than we were expecting, but we were conservative and did not spend it. Page 17, I think it is. Yep, 17. You don't have any long-term debt, so there will be no amortization schedules to put out there, which is very unusual in this day and age. You guys are very conservative, and that's fine. Middle of the page there, contributions to the employees' retirement for 25, 24, and 23. 25 was $1,053,000. 24 was $1,066,000. And in 23, it was $979,000. The state says you owe that. You paid that in. They don't want to put it on their books, so they say that. But at the end of the day, they have to pay it. Move over to page 19. This is a breakdown that we discussed earlier. A1 there between your building fund and your child nutrition fund. There's your end of the year balances. I don't see anything there that would be of any concern. A2 is your balance sheet for those funds, for the activity fund and the gift fund. Again, I didn't see anything there that was concern. Schedule B, that'll be the income statement, broken down between your building fund and your child nutrition. And then Schedule C, which is on page 22, and this is your budgeted to your actual. Okay, that brings us to page 23, which is your fiduciary fund or activity fund, whatever you want to call it. We hit this one really hard because most of it is cash. Everybody's starting to go to credit cards, and that's fine, and that works even better because anytime there's a chance that you have cash involved, there's a chance that it doesn't get reported and it goes somewhere else. You had beginning balances of $338. You took in $762,000. You expended $781, and that left you a balance of $318. Over to page 24. That's your that is the bank reconciliation. And 25. This is your FAFSA, your schedule of expenditures of federal grants and awards. You received $759,000 and you expended $813,000, which that makes you uniform guidance. Next year it goes to $1 million. And under those rules you would not be uniform guidance, but this year you are. So that makes the third letter that goes to the feds. But everything looked to be come in and be reported in a timely fashion and was expended to what it should have been expended to. Page 26 is your second letter. This is your internal controls. This is when we look at your POs, we look at your payroll, we look at your teacher's retirement, we look at everything. And we did not see an issue with your internal control at this time. And then the last one here is the one that goes to the feds, and it just says that we're stating them on a regulatory basis, which is what the state of Oklahoma requires, and you have a clean bill of health when it comes to that. And then where everybody wanted me to start in the first place, page 31. No reportable conditions were noted this year. And all prior audit exceptions have been resolved unless presented here, and they are not. So, those have all been resolved if there was any. I know I went fast. Any questions?
Is there anything that should keep us up at night?
Nope.
Okay. We're very blessed. Thank you,
Yep.
office.
They do a good job of, and I know a lot of your sponsors may be griping about them being difficult to deal with, and they want it done this exactly way and not any other way.
Send them to them.
Thanks, thanks there, that's great.
But the reason they're mean is because of me, so. When I told her to make me the bad guy, I'm fine with that.
They're lovely to work with. Thank you.
Are there questions?
Anybody?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Travel
Thank you
safe.
for coming in person.
Did you travel in bad weather today at all?
I went from Enid to Oklahoma City down to Putnam City offices,
Yeah.
and then I saw 5 wrecks going into there, and
Yes,
then
sir.
I came back up here to give you this tonight, and then I will go back there tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow's a better day.
Yeah, hopefully we won't have the black eye, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we may have a motion to accept it.
Yes, please.
So we're going to take a motion to accept the auditor's report, please. Thank you, Jane.
A second.
Barton,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Pingleton.
Yes.
Okay. Consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of a routine nature normally approved by one board vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on these items. The consent agenda consists of discussion, consideration, and approval of the following. 3.1 is additional items of business. 3.2 is minutes. 3.3 is approval of finance. 3.4 is approval of purchase orders. 3.5 extra duty. 3.6 activity fund report. 3.7 activity fund fundraisers. 3.8 activity fund inter-account transfers. 3.9 child nutrition report. 3.10 board policy and procedures, and 3.11 declare the following items as surplus. So we'll return back to 3.1. Addition of items of new business to the agenda. Thank you. 3.2 is meetings for November 3rd, regular meeting, and November 18th, emergency meeting.
They're good.
Good. Thank you. 3.3 is approval of finance report. Mr. Shears?
From the general fund, we currently have $429,721 less encumbered than this time last year, and have paid out $201,063 less this time last year. In November, we revenued $656,409. For the year so far, we revenued $2,515,000. That does not include the carryover amount of $6.8 million. We have deposited $603,000 less than last year at this point. That's primarily due to last year we had the payment of the teacher pay raise and school security grant that we received in August, and it's within those two together are within $15,000 of what that difference is or less. So without those payments, like I said, our revenue is pretty flat for this time of year, from July to now. Maybe a little bit less, but not significant.
Okay.
It's good to remember that our large revenue months are coming, January and April. In the building fund, currently have $582,195 less encumbered, and have paid $689,799 less. A large portion of that is from the purchase of the buses that we made last fall. However, the exact number is a little over $500,000. In November, we revenued $26,735. For the year, we revenued $83,712. Again, it does not include the carryover amount of $3.5 million. It shows we have deposited about $42,000 more at this point than last year. That increase is due mainly from the deposit of the interest when we changed that policy. So if you take out the carryover, you take out that interest amount, so local revenue is about $19,931 less than this time last year. So revenues are down just a little bit, but it's kind of a hidden thing just because it's real dependent on when people pay taxes and things like that. So again, January, April, those would be the big tellers. Looking at our investments, general fund, there's $4.5 million invested at everything's at 4.3 or 4.35%. General fund's $4.5 million, building fund's $3.203 million. Child nutrition has $159,000 invested. Sinking fund's $11,000, and gift fund $325,000. So all total, we've got $8,198,000 invested. Again, it's averaging 4.3% return. That is my finance report.
Any questions regarding finance report before I move over to 3.4? Hearing none. 3.4, approval of purchase order encumbrances for the following funds for fiscal year 26.
Again, we'll start with the general fund. Not a lot. At the time of year, there's not a whole lot of expenses outside the normal. Just draw your attention to a handful. PO 323 is IXL Learning for $2,600. That is for IXL is what we The program we used, benchmark tests and things like that. At 2,600 is for professional development. That's coming up 12th, December 12th this month. So it's PD for our teachers using the IXL program and all that kind of stuff. PO 345 is to Next Tech Consulting for $6,130. It's a Category 2 E-rate grant. It's an 80-20 match, so that $6,000 is a 20% match on the E-rate funds. But like I said, the rest of the purchase orders are primarily for professional development and classroom supplies. In the building fund, talks faster than my clicks. Building fund, most of the purchase orders in the building fund were for repairs and normal maintenance going in the winter months. A lot of glass, replace some windows, ice melt and winterizing ball fields and heater repairs, things like that. Straight attention to 4 of them. POs 111 through 114 are to encumber funds for all the restoration activities we've had here at the high school in the last 2 weeks. These should be recoverable through the insurance claim with OC for the most part. 111 and 113 is index fire for fire alarm maintenance and inspection. PO 112 is to Certified Commercial Restoration, or CCR, for $60,000, and PO number 114 is Select and Bill Mechanical for $20,000. Get the gas turned back on and all that stuff. So, any questions on all the encumbrances?
Will there be more on that restoration?
Yes. I think to say for sure it'll be yes. I can't tell you how much or when.
No. At least it-
Yeah. The CCRs we'll talk about having work. They're still here. In fact, they're probably down there right now, working in the old gym. So. ONG's here right now working on gas line too. It's going to be a minute. All that.
Are the trees that are in around the units, are they there for a reason?
No. And it'll be coming out. That didn't have anything to do with what happened.
Oh, I know.
It
I
just
just,
looks tacky and
well,
they
no,
will be coming
you
out.
know, this is kind of funny, but it's not really funny. I thought, well, you know what, that could be because eventually some shade around those units would be nice. I thought, did someone have us plant trees in there? I thought I knew the answer was probably no, but, I thought, maybe so.
Any questions?
Questions on that?
Okay.
3.5, approval of extra duty assignment schedule.
Go ahead.
Nothing. 3.6, approval of activity fund report.
Just go over a handful of deposits. High school athletics deposited $3,197, mostly from ticket sales, finishing football. Ladybug basketball deposited $2,178 from their fundraiser. Middle school athletics has deposited $3,615, mostly from ticket sales. Starting basketball, the middle school started about a month before high school does. The middle school itself has deposited $1,208 from their fundraisers, and Washington Elementary School deposited $20,106 from their fundraiser.
3.7 is approval of activity fund fundraisers. Don't have any. 3.8, approval of activity fund inter-account transfers.
No transfers.
3.9, approval of child nutrition report.
In November, we served 3,950 breakfasts and 7,324 lunches. Meal counts were down a little bit in November because we took a week off for Thanksgiving break. We revenued $59,764 in November. All total, year to date, we have spent or paid out $184,206, and we have deposited $158,954. So again, there's maybe some catch up, some lag in between federal reimbursements. Currently, we have about $8,607 in outstanding unpaid student lunch accounts. That's where child nutrition stands.
Any questions? 3.10, approval of board policy procedures.
Don't have anything.
Thank you, sir. 3.11, declare the following items as surplus.
No surplus.
Alright. I will then go back and entertain a motion to accept 3.1 to 3.11.
Move to approve item 3.1 to 3.11.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Kane,
Yes.
McDermott.
Yes.
Pingleton,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Moving on to item 4, administration report.
Who's first?
Maybe we'll start with Washington.
Why I'm just
Okay.
focused
Let it close up.
Why am I
right
sticking
here.
out today?
I'm just going down with it. I don't know what's going on over there.
Our enrollment is the same over at Washington. Do you want to present this one? Let me show over here.
Pass the wig around. Let me get it.
Yeah, that'd be good. Good team
Sorry,
building.
sweaty.
Fine. Looks great, honestly, it looks great. Yeah. You heard him say already, we raised a lot of money at Washington. It was really over 26,000. We were absolutely astonished. Thank you everyone who contributed and participated. We really wanted to make sure that all of our students reap the benefits, of course, I mean in every aspect, but whether they brought $100 or $0, everyone got a book as a prize to take home to their home libraries. So that was really fun to take a a mobile bookstore, we called it, around the school, and they got to go shopping for a book, which was fun. So we also promoted a lot of reading with this. This is Emma Franz. She was our top student who brought the most money, and this top student got a shopping spree at Walmart, and she was a hoot. Like, seriously, she was so much fun to go shopping with, and she spent her exact amount plus 23 cents. Like, we got it down to the dollar.
She'd probably already been shopping.
I think she did. She said her and her mom went and did a pre-shopping, so she kind of figured out what she wanted. But we have plans to buy a new merry-go-round because we have a broken one on the playground. Of course, field trips for all of our students at the end of the year, and yearbooks for all the students, and a lot more. We'll be able to do so much with that, and it's been a lot of years since we've had a big, cushy account there. So, anyway, I also wanted to share that over the month of November, we had a school-wide project you've heard of, the balloons in the Macy's Day Parade. There's a very popular book called Balloons Over Broadway, and every grade level did a little project to go with that book. And you can click that little link there, and I sure hope it's going to play. It is a safe video, I promise. Security warning.
Not like it.
Each grade did a little something, which pre-K's been doing this for like years and years and years, and that first video is pre-K. Some of those are extravagant. The balloons are amazing, but it is so fun. They parade through the hallways, and they're so proud of what they've made. And those teachers, if we have a student come without a balloon, they have plans for balloons to be made that day to make sure everybody has a balloon in the parade. But then kindergarten did something fun, and they saw a TikTok video, of course, and it took foil, like actual pieces of foil, through the laminator, and then you kept like a straw on it when you laminated, and so it made your own homemade foil balloon, and so they decorated them and stuff. But they paraded those at the homestead, which was really a great outreach that they did. And then first grade did an extension, and they did a writing project with their balloons. So that was very fun for the month of November. And then scroll down a little bit. My grant team and I went to the K-20 Innovative Learning Institute, and we did a presentation about early childhood technology. And Kayla Ledbetter, one of our preschool teachers, was the leader of the pack on that, and she did a phenomenal job, and we got so much great feedback about all of the things that she shared. If you ever want to see some technology used in early childhood, you should come check out her classroom because she does some phenomenal things. But anyway, there's a few dates coming up this month, there's a lot of stuff that I did not even put on there because it's a crazy month, but those are just some Washington things, so thank you.
Very nice.
Purple hair turn.
Okay, it's my turn. We are zoom in real close. We are down one third grade student. Third grade student moved out of state right before Thanksgiving, so we're down 158. Our second grade students had a program November 6th, and Ms. Klein did a great job. Our students wore red, white, and blue, and they did a tribute to the United States and the Stars and Stripes, and they did an excellent job. If you were able to watch, we did record it, and I sent it out to all the family through the app, which is so cool. So I'd be happy to share it if you didn't get to see it, want to look at it. But Ms. Klein and the second grade students did an excellent job. The teachers do a great job of, they do a rehearsal that third grade gets to see, a dress rehearsal the day before, and they really did great. Third grade will, our third grade students, so this is something new we're doing this year. Our flags just get torn up in this Oklahoma weather, and so at one point we used to take them up and down, and then we get the lights, and then we left them up, and like, I bought a new flag in August, and I've already had to replace the American flag. And so we were talking, and Mrs. Savarosny, and she's mentioned this to me before, this time it just stuck, that she said when she went to school, the fifth graders were responsible of raising the flags and lowering them every day. And so we got to thinking, well, is that something our third grade students can handle? So our third grade teachers put on a little, organized just a little program that showed the students how to properly care for the flags, how to raise the flags, how to fold the flags. And now each third grade class, we have 5 classes, they take 1 day a week, and they are raising the flags and they are lowering them. So if you come by before school starts or drop your kid off, there's a reason why the flags aren't out, because after our morning announcements, they go out there, and then they take them down right before at about 2:45. So that, if you're like, oh, why are the flags never up? That's why, because we're taking it, I have third graders take them up and put them down. It's really great. They're learning responsibility, they're learning to respect our country, our flags, they've learned how to fold them properly. Overall, I think it's just, I'm very excited about this. Our annual AR election, this is something we've been doing, I don't even know what year we're on. Our students, they get their AR points for accelerated reader, and they get a prize if they meet their points for that 9 weeks. Well, we started, I think it was not this last presidential election, but the presidential election before. It might have been when we started it. We kind of thought, well, let's do something where kids can kind of learn about the electoral process without making, like, we don't want to make it political. Like, we don't need kids bringing in their family beliefs and then having a problem. So we thought, what can we do that they can learn this process, but not get, not get too deep, I guess, for lack of a better word. So we decided we would have them start voting on the third 9 weeks reward that they get. But we do it around in November, so during the election. And so they do a primary election where every class comes up with an idea for their candidate, and then they get to present it. And then, so we have our primary election, so we narrow it down to 2. And then those top 2 get to present it a couple more times before we do our general election. And it's really pretty fun. We did our first campaigning during our Friday finale, so parents that were at that Friday finale it was a little long, but they got to see the kids come up. They had great ideas, and they give cute slogans with their ideas. One was "Whoa and Go." It's not one of the winners, but it was going to the park and sledding down the hill on cardboard boxes. That was a winner. So, I think the first year we did this, that was the winner. So we the kids got to vote. You can see this is where they vote. They got an I voted sticker, and they have a ballot box and everything. And the winner this year was Dodgeball Tournament in Gatorade. So Mrs. Cushionberry's class won, and I told Mrs. Cushionberry she gets to organize the dodgeball tournament. She's so excited. But the kids were excited. We will not do that until close to spring break, because it won't be until after the third 9 weeks. But it'll be lots of fun. And now, why am I looking like I'm looking? Our Longfellow food drive this year was a huge success. We collected food for the food pantry for the month of November. And in our staff meeting, one of the teachers, I can't remember, it might have been Mrs. Cushionberry, came up with, why don't we do a drive-through food drive, where you can drive through your circle drive and drop off your items. So we did the food drive all month, but on December 18th, we opened it up and advertised to the community that we were going to do food drive. And it was so great how many people came out. And if you want to click on, you should be able to click on that. I'll bring up slide. I just pulled this from our slideshow from our Friday finale when we told the kids how many food we collected. So you can see in the slideshow that the kids made signs. This is all they're doing. They made signs for the food drive. And then the fire department had collected food to bring to the food drive. The Alva EMS collected food to bring to the food drive. Lincoln brought us food from all their community and other schools. It was really great. And the bottom right, you'll see that, and that's okay. The food drive, our drive-through day was the first day that the high school, had to be closed due to the fire. And there were kids who were already signed up to help do some various things, and those kids still showed up. Not all of them, but a good handful of kids still showed up, and I thought that was so awesome. And they helped load up all that food for me to take to the food pantry, and they helped pick up trash around the school. So I kind of want to give a pat on the back. I think there was a Pingleton thing. So they were super, I thought that was pretty cool. Because they didn't have to come. They were given permission not to come. And we still had a handful that showed up. And we had a Pidco kid there too. Look at that. So it was great.
Is that you in the wig?
That is me in the wig. So we had already collected, I think, over 200 items at the time.
You're
Okay.
quite a selection of wigs.
Oh,
It's a weird thing I've got going on with my costumes. So if you click through again, and some kids collecting more food. So you don't have to click on these links, but what Decor, when I took the food there, we thought it might be really neat for kids to see, where does this go? So Decor did a couple little videos of inside the food pantry. And so we show those to the kids. And so one shows where people actually go and shop, and then showed 2 of the storage rooms, which was really cool because I promised the kids I didn't take it home. It's not in my pantry. This is where it's at. So they got to see where it went.
Good.
And then we had the fun little, if you click on the next one, I told the kids, do you want to know how many items we collected? And they gave me a drum roll, and if you click it again, it shows the kids that we collected over 1,200 food items. And if you click it again, it said that means we're going to have 12 days of Wigmas. So this is day 1 of Wigmas. For every 100 items they collected, I'm wearing a different wig because I have a weird collection of wigs. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
And I felt better than the polar plunge of being dunked in December.
Oh.
So we were dunked last year. Anyways, lots of fun. We're having 12 days of Wigmas at the school, and on day 12, I'm going to have other staff members participate with me. So, if you see me out and about, mind your business. I'm just enjoying Wigmas, okay? And I think just kind of this is what's up and coming. Kind of the big one I wanted to our third grade music program. The third grade students, Ms. Klein, are working hard. That's December 11th. And it will be Wigmas still, so I will be in a wig at that program at 1:30 at the high school auditorium. And the whole reason why I did this, just to prove that I'm really doing it, the kids are having fun,
There you go.
the community helped participate in this, and so we're super proud of our community, super proud of our community and our kids, and help feed a lot of mouths. So.
That's right. Very nice.
Good job.
I will apologize if there are any typos in this. I did not have my computer, and I had my grandkids, and I was distracted, so. So just forgive me if there's any, because I can't promise. Our enrollment is about the same, 136. November 6th, we hosted our first family Thanksgiving dinner. I just wanted to, I don't know, I remember that as a kid, and we did it, and it was fantastic. I was really blown away at the turnout. We served over 200 people. And I wanted to do order ahead, just because I thought there's going to be some kids that want one. I only had one kid that did order, and so everybody wanted the turkey dinner. I want to thank Keystone Cooks. They did an amazing job. I asked a lot of them, and they stepped up and were gracious and did a great job of that. We had to borrow some trays from Longfellow because we did not have enough hard trays. I really wanted to use the hard trays because there's a lot of food on those styrofoam plates, but so many people in the cafeteria. We decorated. There'll be some pictures down at the end. Staff did a great job. We had to be real flexible and move lunch times around. Such a great day to have so many families in the building. It was fantastic. And then we turned right around on November 10th and had our Veterans Day lunch, which was also great. Our Lincoln leaders do such a good job with their presentation. Had great feedback from that as well. And then Mrs. Vickers and Mrs. Brinkley, they went to the Autism Center for the autism training, and they brought back some very valuable information to our staff and presented that at our faculty meeting the Wednesday before we left for break. So they really enjoyed that training. I think more of us need to get onto that. It's fantastic. Support Staff Appreciation Week, or Day, was November 19th, and can't say enough about all of our support staff that we have in our district. So we got to celebrate them in a variety of ways throughout each of our buildings. And so got the bus drivers their little goodie bags and did food days and things like that. So that was fun. And Kristen Anderson was our Lincoln support staff member of the year. And then we also did, for students who earned over $150 from our math-a-thon, we went to Rialto on the 20th and watched Zootopia. That was a lot of fun. Then November 21st, we attended, I think I forgot something, attended the NWSU play back on the, I don't remember what day it was. We went to, there it was, 5th grade students enjoyed their field trip. We went to Oklahoma City and watched the Blue Thunder. We have decided to rotate back and forth between the Science City and that. 4th grade will get to go in February. So really fun trip. Again, we get to do that because of the money we did raise for our math-a-thon. So I think we've got some pictures down below of our Thanksgiving lunch. That was 4th grade, and then 5th grade. We had fun decorating and getting that all set up. And then we have some pictures. There's our cooking staff that helped prepare that day. And then we have our Rialto little field trip that we took for those students. And then the next one is the dance cam at the game. Some of our students made that, and then just the fun trip. And we're starting right back off with a busy schedule of, we've got the book fair this week. We have 4th grade academic meet going to Drummond there tomorrow, and tomorrow is also our evening of art and literacy from 4:30 to 6. And then on the 10th, 5th grade goes to a academic meet in Enid, and then our AR party at Rialto on the 18th, and then Polar Express Day on the 19th, and then by golly, it's Christmas break.
is.
So that's Lincoln.
Okay. Are you skipping over to me? Okay, never mind.
Maybe I'll do-
Go, you're pulled up, go ahead.
Middle school basketball, we have a slate of events for middle school basketball between now and the end of the semester. 8th grade teams will participate in the Fairview tournament. They played today, they will play the 4th and the 6th. 6th graders will go to Hennessy for a festival this Saturday. The girls will play at 1 and 2, and the boys will play at, oh, I'm sorry, the girls play at 1, and the boys at 1:30, the girls at 2, and the boys at 2:30, I think is what it is. They just sent me an updated schedule. The 7th and 8th grade teams will play Blackwell on the 8th at home. They go to Woodward on the 15th, and the 18th, they will play Chisholm. The 6th graders will finish their season with Hennessy this Saturday. They go to Fairview on the 8th, and then they will play Chisholm on the 18th in Alva as well. High school, we open up our season tomorrow against Fairview. So JV will take place at the middle school starting at 4. The girls will start at 4, the boys will follow. And the varsity will play at Northwestern. The girls will start at 7, and the boys will follow after the girls. On the 9th, we'll travel to Chisholm. The 11th, 12th, and 13th, we play at the Dale Tournament. The 16th, we will host Blackwell, and on the 19th, we'll travel to Perry. And the Ladybugs will participate in the Mustang Tournament, December 29th, 30th, and 31st. Strength and conditioning. Planet Fitness donated several cardio machines to us. Coach Mead, Coach Thomas, and myself drove over December 21st, the Friday before Thanksgiving break. It was a Planet Fitness in Tulsa. They gave us a cardio row machine, a Stairmaster machine, a stretch trainer, and 5 ellipticals. The plan is to take this equipment and find a space for it. Right now, we've kind of in the old girls' locker room here in the high school building, and begin to build a cardio weight room, not only for our athletes, but also for staff. The machines that we have are all very low impact, which is very beneficial for rehab for our athletes. And then you got guys like me that struggle walking sometimes. Cardio is, I can't go run on the track anymore, but the elliptical is much easier on the knees. So we hope that this just helps elevate our athletic department in more ways than just moving iron around, so that's what we got.
What was our connection?
Mr. Bashir's son-in-law,
George Rutherford is a graduate of Northwestern. He used to be a GA, whatever, he's in Tulsa. Works at that Planet Fitness, so. I know he hit us up, and I think we're supposed to get some incumbent bikes maybe.
Okay, Alamo School, we had our Veterans Day program. We celebrated today early. Greg Miller, if you all recognize him, he works out at Walmart. He's been out there for a long time, but he was our presenter. He did a fabulous job. He came and talked to us about life on an aircraft carrier. So that was very cool for our kids to hear some of those stories. One of the neatest parts that I like about that day is we recognized 21 veterans. So go ahead and scroll down through here. 21 veterans were recognized. They all received, a little commemorative gift from the middle school, which I thought was super cool. It's always neat to see some of our staff on the screen that have, that were veterans as well. One of my other favorite parts about Veterans Day is Mrs. C's class, who makes the Veterans Day project. So at the back of the auditorium, if you all were able to make it, they set up these displays. So each 7th grade student interviews a veteran, and then they make a board based on that. So those are
those are some of my favorite days at the middle school. We also, Mrs. K, to commemorate Veterans Day, the 8th grade participated in a leadership course. So she set up a whole kind of like a basic training course. And students had to work together to problem solve and help their team cross the finish line. So they were jumping over hay bales, they were carrying each other in sheets. It was a lot of fun. They were, you had to jump over things, go over, under. The 8th grade class really had a good time, and I loved to see how helpful they all really were to each other. It's like I was able to see a totally different side of some of those 8th graders, so that was really neat to see. And then,
First time ever doing that?
yeah, I think it is our first time ever. Yeah, it was really cool. And, I was actually observing Miss Kay on that day, and I didn't know exactly what I was going to see, and she goes into the whole thing of like, you don't leave a man behind. Like, this is very, you've got to learn to work together, and, you're a part of something bigger. So it was really neat to watch her, have that interaction with the students, so it was good. Mrs. Barnett's class participated in the Great Marble Race, and this is all based on Newton's laws of motion. So the students constructed mazes for the marble to run through, and there's certain parameters to it, like anything they use has to be recycled materials. And so some kids would bring stuff from home. She scoured the trash and found all kinds of stuff to use. It was a great time. So the race was to see whose marble could complete the race the slowest. And so the longer it takes, the better. So she had some winners in each class. 3rd hour was Bentley Lott and Coda Leon. 4th hour was Kinsley Berry and Harper Eisenbart. 6th hour winners Joplin Brott and Abilene Brinkley and Casey Pettis. And 7th hour winners was Aiden Davis, Taven Smith, and Brendan Chapman. And I forgot to add it to my list, but you can kind of look at it. They're really neat, and to watch the marbles go through it. They work very hard on these. There's a lot of hot glue gun, accidents that kind of happen. A few things, hands get a little bit tweaked, but they really have a good time working on it. And I forgot to add it to my schedule, but December 18th, we did talk about we have home basketball games. That's also our 6th grade and 7th grade literacy night, and we'll be sending out flyers, talking about that. If you guys are able to come by, the cafeteria will have the food truck displays and all of that. So it's a good time.
Okay, so we currently have 75 freshmen, 64 sophomores, 66 juniors, and 66 seniors. Total of 271 in the high school. I want to thank Mrs. Pettis and the technology department. We had, the students took the ACT, the juniors did, and the freshmen and sophomores took the pre-ACT. Pre-ACT is paper pencil, but the ACT is online, and it was a technological feat to try to actually make that happen. It was not our happiest moments, but we learned perseverance, and our technology people and Mrs. Pettis worked really hard to get us to that point. The Career Tech is having Chad Cargill workshop on the 3rd, and so we're encouraging our students to sign up for that. I'm very hopeful that after having taken the ACT, they'll have new questions, and they'll have more insight as to what that looks like, and the workshop will be more beneficial in the long run. So I'm pretty hopeful that they take advantage of that. We want to thank the Methodist Church. They have helped to start a food pantry for the high school, and we're still working on a name and how to get that word out, but we're really excited about that concept. We don't think about students necessarily in Alva needing food and having food insecurity, but we do. We've got quite a lot of it, actually. And so by having a pantry, kids get the opportunity basically to grocery shop. It's not just a weekend food bag like some schools do with their elementary schools. It's they go in and they pick the things off the shelf that they need to to make a meal that night. And so we're really excited about that concept. The Methodist Church, like I said, has been very instrumental in getting that started, and we're so grateful for that. Mrs. Sutter had a recital, and if you missed that recital, you missed a wonderful time. It was beautiful music, and to hear her perform, it's no wonder.
Over the top.
It was.
It was amazing.
It's no wonder our choirs are so great, because she's so great. And it was a fabulous afternoon at the Methodist Church. So thank you to the community. That recital, the entrance fee was to bring a food item, or some people brought donations and donated funds. And so immensely grateful to her and to the Methodist Church for helping us out with that. We want to say congratulations to Madison Kern, who was chosen for the Mixed All-State Choir for the Oklahoma Choral Directors Association All-State. Also chosen for the Treble All-State Choir was Jocelyn Brott and Sabalina Ophew. So congratulations to them. Indy Braza, Skylar Wickham, Lila Schmidt, Samuel Newton, and Kyler Fowler were all chosen for Red Carpet Honor Band, so congratulations to them. Dash Dickey and Madeline Ryerson were chosen for the OMEA Oklahoma High School All-State Choir, and Isaac Antone was chosen as first alternate for the bass section, bass one. Key Club has done some great things this year, and I really haven't talked about Key Club, so I just wanted to hit the highlights of some of the things that they've done this year. They sold their mums, as they have done annually. This year they sold 352 mums and donated all of those funds to Relay for Life. So that was a really great thing for them. They served as student ambassadors and as food servers for the Distinguished Gold Bug Luncheon and for that day's celebration. They did a great job, and they also have worked at the nursing homes helping to volunteer there. They took residents through the county fair and helped them to be able to look at some of the exhibits and all of the things there, as well as working at the luau at the nursing home. So that was pretty exciting for them to be able to be a part of that. November 5th, Student Council took 13 freshmen down to University of Oklahoma to their Leadership Academy. We had some students who received scholarships for their leadership skills down there, which is super exciting. Angelina Rojas and Lexi Percival both received $500 scholarships to UCO, and Madison Kern received a $1,000 scholarship to UCO. So as freshmen, they're already earning scholarship money, which is really a great thing. And then choir and band will have their concerts coming up this week. We have the celebration, Christmas at Home celebration downtown, where the choir will be performing at 10 o'clock on the square on Saturday morning. And then the band will be performing that evening their Christmas concert in the auditorium at 7. As I was doing my report, writing it up the other day, I was struck by the fact that there's so many things that go on at the high school during any given month. We would be here forever if I actually read through all of the accomplishments of the kids, all of the activities, all their things. So just know that our kids are working hard and they are doing fabulous things. We're out at the Career Tech during our displacement time prior to the break. We were at the Career Tech and at the Recreation Center, and our teachers worked so hard and our kids did a great job just making learning fun, even though it was in such a strange environment. But they did a fabulous job, and I'm grateful for both of those entities that they let us invade their space for a couple of days. So that's all I have.
Some of the high school kids, I don't remember, it was one of the days, they knocked them off, came down and painted.
They did. That was actually a time we were out at the Career Tech and at the
I heard
Rec Center.
so many
Yeah.
really nice things.
Oh, that's great.
A lot.
That's
really.
great.
I just thought it was some of the other, I didn't realize it was our kids, our high school kids.
Pretty much all high school kids. Mr. McClure asked if he could take some. They had
on Tuesday, they had a volunteer day, a work day, and they were gonna be DCA to go down and do that. And, like Mrs. Tucker had said, some of them still went out and did their things. But then Mr. McClure asked on Wednesday and Thursday, can we do that again? We really would like to get on to some other shops to be able to paint their windows. Said, absolutely, this is a great time to do that. Go do those volunteer things. Go pick up trash, clean up, you know, whatever. They painted curbs, they painted windows, they did some
They
great
did
things.
a lot.
They did, and it really shows. So
It was really.
I'm pretty proud of them. They're pretty good kids.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Move on to 4.2, superintendent's report. You have any pictures?
Yeah, so one more time, I feel like that's all awesome that I get down. Facility update. There's a lot going on. I feel like there's one kind of white elephant that maybe we need to talk about. On Tuesday, the 18th November, we experienced a fire in the south HVAC unit that provides heat and air conditioning to the practice gym. The fire was isolated to the unit outside, so at no point was the building on fire. But smoke from this traveled up the ductwork like a chimney and filled both gyms and the majority of the high school with smoke. It's a lot of smoke damage, particularly in the practice gym. We did hold an emergency meeting early that afternoon so that we get people here and start that restoration process. A company called Certified Commercial Restoration, or you see the trailer out there, CCR Restoration, was on site that evening to begin the restoration of our facilities. Index was also here that afternoon to get our fire alarm system back in working order and reset all that. So, met with an adjuster from OSIG, that's our school insurance group, on Thursday, the 20th, to begin the process of that claim. He requested a fire investigator with an FCO to evaluate the cause of the fire in the HVAC unit. I met with that investigator on Wednesday, the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. We're waiting to get his final report from that. As a result of the fire, ONG had to turn off the main gas supply to the high school campus to restore service. Called a couple plumbers, and luckily those one got back to us out of Bean and came up here to repair and test all the gas lines. ONG identified 3 or 4 regulators that potentially have a leak and things like that, so we have to just fix it all while we're here. No need to fixing something, have them come back again. So Luckily was here to all week last week. I think there was four or five guys that are here for 3 or 4 days. Got everything isolated and pressured up and all that. Gas was restored Friday when they came back out. Did the shut-in test and all the things and got the gas turned back on so we could have heat for today. That was cool. Practice gym had the most damage, by far the most damage. In the practice gym, they'll be replacing all the ceiling tiles and the grid holding the tiles. Repainting the gym, cleaning all the ductwork, possibly having to replace the sock ducts, the new socks, the new HVAC system, and cleaning all the surfaces to remove smoke residue. When I mean all the surfaces, they're up in the rafters cleaning things that probably haven't been touched since it was built. So, the game gym, locker rooms in high school were also cleaned the same way. They had big scrubbers. I'm not sure. Probably a favor buying a couple and treating our buildings over Christmas break kind of thing. Anyway, they had ozone generators, these big air scrubbers, and work on the air quality because it smelled like a fire pit here. Got all that cleaned up, wiped down the whole building, whatever chemical they used to kill the toxins there and get rid of all the smoke residue that was there. So the entire building's been cleaned down to the trophies in the trophy cabinet. Right. Practice gym's gonna get a facelift. Game gym's been completely gone through, cleaned in there. So the prompt response from these companies has allowed us to resume classes as of today. We did have to cancel school at the high school on the 18th. We moved classes to the tech center on 19th and 20th and observed a virtual day on the 21st. That got us through that week. Then we had Thanksgiving break, which allowed CCR to be here for 2 full weeks. They're still here. Work on the restoration process. We would say we owe a huge debt of gratitude to Northwest Tech Center for allowing us to use their facility for 2 days. I popped in a couple times, and I just know for certain it was a massive inconvenience for those guys. They really came through for us, and this just shows that Alva pitches in, right? So, if college or they called us, we put them in every nook and cranny we had. So, same kind of thing. So anyway, just want to tell everybody at Northwest Tech how much we appreciate that. Anyway, so are there any questions about all the last 2 weeks before I move on? Let's kind of down and dirty it all. Okay.
Patience.
It's a virtue.
That's what it will be, is patience.
Yeah, it's
Still gonna be somewhat of an inconvenience,
I'm
but
pretty impressed with CCR
good.
and the work that they've accomplished in a pretty short amount of time, really. If you could have seen it at 6:30 that morning, when the fireman, Chief Miller, one of them, with flashlight through, it looked like the worst fog storm you've ever seen. I mean, you couldn't see through the gym lobby, right? And this whole building from the cafeteria to the gym was full of smoke. What happened in the old gym, I come up the ductwork, it actually dumped out of the return vent and was above the ceiling tiles. So it smoked on top and bottom. That's why all the ceiling tiles are going to be replaced, all that kind of stuff. Now the game gym, it came in at floor level, and came up. So it came through the door, right? So everything is pretty well contained on the bottom side. So we looked out there a little bit. But you know, it's all going to work out the way it's supposed to. Everybody's being pretty patient. Talked to coaches today, and I mean, they're not happy, but it's what it is. One of them said, "Hey, it's good. They need to learn to play through adversity." So it's a good lesson. It's a good attitude to have. Anyway. Transportation wise, all the route buses are in service in pretty good shape. We have one that had I don't remember what code it was thrown, but it was easy fix. Plug the computer in, change the sensor kind of thing. So nothing big. All the route buses are in service and doing well. All the activity buses except the Centra are in service. We have an HVAC and a regen issue with it. It'll be going to Tulsa. But the other two are plugging away, or 3 really. So doing good that way. Our oldest people mover, that's the one that went down a year and a half ago. It's got the bad head on it. We cannot locate a head. I've called everybody I know between Oklahoma City, Enid, everywhere, Tulsa. Have people looking for it. Ford can't get one. It's a Ford motor. We can order one online from overseas. All that coin toss of what you get with that. Shipping would be more than that part. So, I've got pricing what a new engine would cost her. You can get the whole engine, but you can't get just the head. So we have to replace the engine in that bus, but get it back up and going sooner or later. Anyway.
Okay, is that everything?
Yep.
4.3, resignations, retirements, reassignments.
I have none.
Okay, well, thank you for that wonderful report on item 4. Item 5, items of current business, discussion with possible board action, vote to approve an offer of employment to applicant number 1, certified school nurse for the remainder of the school year.
I'm going to let,
Purple hair.
you just, now look over there, just completely.
You can't come up with my name anymore.
Yeah, it's just,
Water for yellow.
I believe Mrs. Tucker introduced.
Can we get like a recap of all of the weeks that you?
Yes, I will,
Okay.
we will do something, because I love having my picture taken. Okay, I am pleased pleased to introduce and recommend the hiring of Emily Stroop. She is an RN. She has completed all of the required school nurse certifications that she will need to be certified nurse. She is there, has a number, is ready to go. She brings a wide range of clinical and emergency response experience to this role. She is a certified CPR instructor, so she can help do those instructions for our staff and our coaches. She has served as a volunteer firefighter, an EMT, so she's demonstrating strong skills in crisis response and community care. She has worked as an ER nurse and most recently has served as the Assistant Director of Nursing and Primary Health Partners. Since moving to Alva from Piedmont, she's been in my building some at Longfellow on substituting, and she's going to be a great fit for our school and what we need. Her daughter, Michaelin, is a third grader. She's got 3 daughters, but Michaelin is a third grader at Longfellow, and that's how I got to know Emily. She had mentioned that her mom was a nurse, and I was like, oh, really? And so I called Emily and asked if that was true, and got to know her for years, and that kind of got the ball rolling. And she'll be a great fit for the needs that we have in our district.
Where will she be housed? Where, are you traveling around buildings or?
She would be traveling, her main office space will be at Longfellow, but she will be traveling around and helping out in all the areas of the needs for students. Kind of working on what that will look like. For sure we'll get together with the other principals, and I've taken her to all the schools but the high school because they were displaced at the time, but she will be making her way back.
I would recommend that. That should be a
All right, I would
big addition.
entertain a motion to hire I'm going to change the employment of applicant 1 to Emily Stroop. Am I saying the last name correct? Thank you. As an RN certified school nurse.
So moved.
Second.
Pingleton,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Barton.
Yes.
Sat through all of that. Congratulations.
Yes.
We have already,
We're almost over.
we have already addressed 5.2, so I'm going to jump to 5.3. Discussion with possible board action to vote to approve contract with Stephen L. Smith Corporation as financial consultants to the school district for fiscal year 25-26.
As we're planning bond issue, we need to get our financial advisor on board and all that kind of thing. They'll help us with the planning of the financial side of the bond, the villages and all. So in the contract, the big things, the scope of the contract is financial advisory services for the proposal of a general obligation bond for the purpose of financing improvements and/or additions to the facilities of Alva Public Schools. So just financial advisory to help us with the bond. The term of that contract would begin the date that we sign the contract and end on the settlement date of the bond issue. So when the bond's paid off, the contract ends. Be a financial advisor through the term of the bond. Their compensation is 1.75% of the first $100,000, 1.5% of the second $100,000, 1.25% of the third $100,000, and then 1% of anything over the $300,000 mark. So, size of bond we're talking about is around 1%. Is what their fee would be. All the other things they help plan the business side of the bond. Just to, I guess, summarize it. I would recommend to enter into a contract with Stephen L. Smith Corporation.
Do they assist us in the passing of the bonds? Do they advise us?
Some, it's really not their forte. They're going to do all the.
I mean, like with the numbers that we might need,
Yes.
percentages.
Yes, yeah.
And all the,
That's all the things they do.
yeah.
So they'll feed us the information. I'll make the charts.
Talking there about advising and coming to
public meetings if need
Yes,
be
okay.
to
I
present
didn't
to
have to read all that.
groups and things.
They really are pretty active in the actual passage of them. They
Yeah,
really
from that
are. Most
public
of them
meeting
are. I
perception, all that,
I
so
didn't see it, I
so-
didn't read it that close.
we're getting those questions at a town hall meeting, let's say. And some of those kind of go, oh, pretty good question, right? Andy? But, and that's what they do. They do all the business side of
That
it.
side of it.
And they work primarily with schools.
Sure.
Steve L. Smith does. I know they've worked with several schools in the area.
Great questions. Anything else in reference to that before I ask for a vote? I entertain a motion.
Move to approve contract with Stephen L. Smith Corporation as a financial consultant to the school district fiscal year 25-26.
Second.
Barton,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Pingleton.
Yes.
Item 6, new business.
Have none.
We will sign documents to approve our earlier action. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Hanson,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
McDermott,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Pingleton.
Yes.